We are less than 3 weeks away from the U.S. presidential election, and our Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook joins us now from the White House. And Julia, both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are in Michigan today, and this is a key swing state that will help determine who the next president will be.
It is a crucial state, and both of them in these last few weeks are going to be spending a lot of time there. Today, both Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are tailoring their message to voters in key areas of a crucial battleground state. Now, Harris is making stops in Lansing, Grand Rapids, and Oakland County. Trump is holding a roundtable in Oakland County and then a rally in Detroit. Now, that's significant because this is the first time he's in Detroit since he spoke at an economic event last week where he actually criticized the city while he was laying out his plan for the auto industry. Here's a bit of what he had to say.
The whole country is going to be like, you want to know the truth? It'll be like Detroit. Our whole country will end up being like Detroit if she's your president.
And he went on to say, if she's your president, you're going to have a mess on your hands. An interesting message in a state where he is trying to gain votes. Now, Michigan, along with Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, is a part of the so-called Blue Wall, a group of 3 states that typically vote for Democrats, but they supported Trump in 2016 and then moved back to Democrats, voting for President Joe Biden in 2020. Both of these campaigns are very aware that a win in Michigan, a typically Blue Wall state, would have a huge impact on the electoral map.
Okay, so while Harris is in Michigan, 2 other former presidents are trying to help her out in other key areas. What can you tell us about that?
They're bringing out the big names, and this is the time to do it. So former President Barack Obama, he's out on the trail in Arizona. Former President Bill Clinton, he was at an event yesterday with the vice presidential nominee, Tim Walz, as they were helping celebrate early voting there. And then he's continuing in North Carolina today, too. Both of those events were in North Carolina. So targeting those important states. And then next week, Harris is expected to appear with former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama at different states, both in battleground states again, in Georgia and in Michigan.
Let's switch to Trump for a moment. He was asked on Fox and Friends if he would seek help from one of his primary opponents. How did he respond to that?
So this question was specifically about his former UN ambassador and former primary opponent, Nikki Haley. And Nikki Haley's supporters are a group of people that typically identify as Republicans who are not happy with Trump leading the party right now. So it's a group that both Trump and Harris are working to appeal to. Now, when Trump was asked about this, he said, quote, "Yeah, I'll do what I have to do." Now, Haley was very critical of Trump on the trail. He doesn't tend to like that when people are critical of him, and he expressed that he was not happy with all of her choices. But she has since then said she's voting for him, endorsed him, and even spoke at the Republican National Convention. And since that interview, our team has learned that the Trump team and Haley are in talks about having her appear at an event in this final stretch to see if he can reach more voters. Nothing is specifically on the schedule right now, though. Cynthia?
Okay, and just a few more days until November 6th. Thanks so very much, Julia. And that is CNN's Julia Benbrook in Washington.